What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Small Biz. In today's video, we're going to talk about why I think MULN and MCOM, last trade 13.5 and 8.10, are on the launch pad. The reverse split vote is tonight, and could they actually do a reverse tomorrow and or Monday? And what's that mean for the stock? And if you're still in TTOO, last trade when I posted a few minutes ago at 44 cents, I will explain why I think you're really rolling the dice. All that and more coming right up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a cloudy and steamy day here in Atlanta, Georgia. Happy Thursday to you. Before I get into MULN, volume precedes price, and MCOM, I'm getting inundated last night and this morning about what I think about the fact that A, I sold the stock at 13 cents, and B, as I just said, it traded as high as 45. Here's the deal. We have had two winners of our 125 for 744% gains in the last 16 months that tripled after I sold them. The other one was LHDXQ. They had an at-home test during the pandemic. I said, buy the stock at 12. I got out close to a half. It went to $1.45 without me. In other words, it almost tripled. Where is it now? Wait for it. Wait for it. 0.001, bankrupt, less than a penny. So if you're long the stock and you haven't sold at least some of it in the mid 40s as we speak, in the words of my late grandfather, rest his soul, you're a goddamn fool. The odds of a stock in trading the stock market, it's all about math. X's and O's, zeros and ones, Fibonacci's, possibilities, probabilities. The probability that an 8-cent stock from 2 weeks ago, and I'm talking about TTOO, when there was big talk about massive dilution, which they dig, and a reverse split, which is going to happen unless they get over $1 organically, the odds are 3%. You can do the math on, do the research, excuse me. We don't edit around here, so if you're new, welcome. You can do the research on Google. When you have a stock that's under a dime, the odds that it's going to 10x or more in the case of TTOO, get to $1 and hold it organically for a minimum of 10 days, 3%. So anytime you're almost halfway there and the odds are less than 5% that you're going to get to where you want to go and you're not pulling the ripcord on some, you're a damn fool. Now, what I did, even though I got out early, admittedly, is I was able to average down 3 times in MCOM under 8 cents. I was able to get MULN day before yesterday at 0.121. Actually, it was yesterday. Almost did it again this morning before it ran to 14.5. Again, last trade, 133. I was able to average down across the board, and you may have seen a tweet I did about 10 minutes ago. The former CEO of MARA, Marathon, a digital Bitcoin miner, from 2012 to 2017 was a guy named Doug. He's the CEO of CRKN. Shortly after that, the whole Bitcoin scenario took off. Mara went from 30 cents to $55, last trade 16.5. Am I saying that CRKN's a 100-bagger? No, but I am saying that the guy that's running the show at CRKN, and yeah, I just jumped from TTOO, has some experience in companies that can go to the moon and back. With that said, what's going on with MULNs? Another question real quick. Do you have to have a small business to get a premium membership at trysmallbiz.com? No, you don't. If you enter your email, your address, your phone number, and your credit card info, it's invisible to the public. No one can see it, not even Google. So if you want to be in our Discord, which is going to launch the week of August 14th, which will be followed by a stock texting service where I'll text you in real time at least what I'm buying in September, October. You guessed it, for the God knows how manyth time. And it is true that we've lost a third of our premium members, despite me making almost 800%. In the last year and a half. You got to get one at trysmallbiz.com. All right, MULN, volume precedes price. Volume precedes price. The institutions, the dark pools were jockeying this morning, right? They were moving it around. It'd go up, it'd go down, it'd go up, it'd go down. I actually think this is bullish price action. It's related to the reverse split vote, which is tonight. Again, they could come out with a yes, and I think they already have the votes because of the insider convertible preferred, and say it passed. And they may say immediately 1 for 9. David, again, if you're listening, do not do a 1 for 10. Rule 3810, the 1 for 250 reverse rule, says you cannot do a 250 or more in less than a 2-year period. So they already did a 1 for 25. A 1 for 10 pushes them over the limit. Meaning if we go under $1 in the next couple of months and lose compliance again, we're done. It's an automatic transfer to the pink sheets, the OTC. But, and it looks like it's cranking. We're starting to move back up now. 137, if my eyes are not deceiving me, at 53 years of age. And yes, I need readers, but it's starting to act like me that the buyback has begun and or the institutions are starting to nibble. Because again, it's up 2 steps, back 1. It's up to 14 and a half. It came down to, I think, 13.10. It held. Last trade, 13.7. 14, 21 and a half, if you've been following along. A quarter and 30 cents are 4 major levels of resistance. So it's normal that we shot through to 14 and a half and failed on the first attempt. Something tells me that by the close of business, because the vote can be announced, now we're back at 14. The vote could be announced tonight or tomorrow. If it's me, I announce the reverse split tomorrow night after the close, and it's effective Monday morning. In other words, you got no time to get out. And then on Monday morning, David, you're sitting there with $25 and $50 million if necessary, because you got over $200 million in cash, along with the insiders to goose this motherfucker with my help and those that are following me right now to somewhere around 20 cents to a quarter. We reverse somewhere around $2. I think collectively we could hold the stock above $1 from that level for 20 trading sessions just to be safe, so we regain NASDAQ compliance. Then, after all the news flow in the August 24 event, if by this end of this year, beginning of next, it goes back under $1 again, under that scenario, we can get a 6-month followed by another extension. But if they go big, and I'm telling you right fucking now, David, if you do a 50-1, which I predicted over a month ago, you're going to demoralize the shareholder base. The stock's going to tank to $0.10 or less. Everyone's going to say, fuck it. It's nothing but a lifestyle stock. I'm out. Here comes billions and billions and billions more shares. Let us not forget they've already diluted 70,000% when they went public years ago under a reverse merger. So the odds of him changing his ways, slim to none. But I'm gambling. My largest position that I'll cover in a second is MCOM. 3 buys, like I said, under at 8 cents or under, followed by MULN. One of these two is going to go. And if you have been following me as we transition to MCOM, you'll notice I got my average down to a quarter. I was down over 90% along with most of you. I owned MULN at one point at 165. I've got that down to 55 cents. And I had almost the same amount of average in MCOM, formerly known as Hellbiz. I kept nibbling with the liquidity. Yeah, it would have been nice to get out of fucking, what is it now? 41 and a half cents. T2 today, blow into the other 3 or 4 this morning, but we don't live in a perfect world. In case you haven't figured it out by now, ladies and gentlemen, I not only have never edited a video, but I speak very imperfectly from the heart. I make mistakes all the time. I let my ego get the best of me. I get pissed off and upset that I've helped people make almost 800% on their money, but a third have cashed into their chips. But a lot of those folks are struggling. And please do not feel guilty if that happens to be you and you need to remove your support. Something tells me when the Discord launches and the Twitter community finds out, oh, MULN at 1440, here we fucking go. Let's fucking go. 1 for 9. Are you listening, David? Tell somebody call him, fucking remind him nonstop. It's 1 for 9 so we can stay under the 1 for 250 reverse split rule. But the same rule applies with MCOM. Sal is right now over. Yeah, I am imperfect, but I can transition with the best of them. He's over in the Netherlands right now talking to Van Moof. If he comes out of there, maybe he's got a meeting right now with the trustee of the bankruptcy court, and he says, we're taking him over, and we've got $30 million or thereabouts, and he's going to keep the SEPA going. I expect another 100 million shares between here and a quarter. But if they can bring in a Van Moof, it's an e-bike company that did $122 million in 2020 during the pandemic, along with a lot of other companies, including my local Chevrolet that didn't have any Silverados to speak of until about 9 months ago because of a chip problem. So if we can take a proven winner 2 years ago and add, I don't know, let's say $50 million before we get them up to speed in the next 3 to 5 years, then yeah, you've got a $15 million company in MCOM, which has 3 times that or thereabouts in cash, that's going to bring on a dominant player in Europe. And whether it's Sal or someone that's got him by the throat with some gray hair that can talk some sense, especially publicly to the investor community, then it could be as we get close to 15 cents on MULN. Don't let me have a heart attack today. Please, God, give us the reverse split news in the next 24 to 48 hours. Make it quick over the weekend. We'll get it cranking. It'll be 20 cents to a quarter. And together we can hold that motherfucker over $1 for 20 consecutive trading sessions. And David, you better come through on the 24th with a lot of PR, some numbers, some revenue, some alliances. I want to see balloons and fucking champagne. In fact, you're invited to, I'm asking you to invite Lion Larry. No, let's not invite Lion Larry back over. You can keep the Craigslist hookers off the fucking television station, please. But last trade, ladies and gentlemen, on MULN 1489. And MCOM cranking back up to 08.5. I love both of them. I've been buying them both recently. I think they could both double, triple, and maybe even more. But there's a possibility we're getting sucked into another trap where it's going to be dilution, and we end up losing a fortune over the course of the next 30 to 60 days. So, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, always remember that I love you and I really appreciate you watching. 1491, let's fucking go.